This is the most hated man in France right now. Gisele Pelicot sat across from the police officer, her heart racing. She had been called in for what she thought was a routine interview about her husband's recent arrest. He was caught taking inappropriate photos up the skirts of unsuspecting women in a supermarket. But as if that didn't shock her enough, what she was about to be shown would shatter her world forever. Hey guys, welcome to Bent Planet, where I tell you true stories of humans in abnormal predicaments, tales that will twist your mind. And today's story is no exception. In fact, be warned, it's especially gruesome and heartbreaking. But if you like hearing true stories with a bizarre twist, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. I have plenty in store. Alright, get comfortable. For 50 years, Gisele Pelicot believed she and her husband Dominique had the perfect marriage. They had 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and had already retired to a quiet life in southern France. When Dominique was caught by a security guard taking upskirt photos of women in a supermarket in 2020, he swore it was a one-off mistake, an impulsive, stupid decision. Despite her disgust, Gisele forgave him. After all, they had 50 years of trust behind them. So when the police called her in, she believed it was simply a formality to close the case on Dominique's lapse in judgment. When asked about him, she reassured the investigators. Dominique really was a good man. This was out of character and he'd clearly made a silly, impulsive mistake. Or at least that's what she, the loving wife, believed. But now, as the officer placed a photo on the table, her blood ran cold. Gisele stared at the image. A woman, clearly unconscious, dressed in sexually provocative clothing, lay on a bed as a man sexually abused her. The officer continued showing her more pictures, each one more horrifying than the last. "Who are these people?" Gisele asked. The officer replied, "Do you recognize this bedside table?" And then it hit her, the truth slamming into her with terrifying clarity. It was her bedside table. It was her bedroom. It was her bed. When police arrested Dominique for his supermarket photos, their investigation led them to his computer, and what they found went far beyond anything Gisele could have imagined. French police recovered a file labelled Abuses on Dominique's USB drive. Inside, they found nearly 20,000 images and videos documenting almost 100 instances of a horrifying betrayal. Over the course of 10 years, Dominique would routinely crush up sleeping pills and anti-anxiety medication, mixing them into his wife's food or wine at night. Once she was drugged and unconscious, he invited men into their home to sexually abuse and rape her. He filmed everything, meticulously documenting the abuse. Gisele sat frozen in her chair at the police station, unable to comprehend the depth of the betrayal. The woman in the images was her. Even the unrecognizable garments she wore had been placed on her body while she slept, completely unaware. The man she had loved, trusted, and shared a life with had orchestrated this nightmare. The officer explained that Dominique had used a dark web chat room to recruit over 80 men to engage in these horrific acts. The men, all voluntary participants, followed a strict protocol. No talking, no smoking, no perfume, and horrifically, her husband told them there was no need to use protection. He instructed them to undress in the kitchen, wait until she was completely unconscious, and then carry out the assaults while Dominique filmed from the shadows, sometimes even participating in the abuse himself. Due to this, Gisele had unknowingly contracted multiple sexually transmitted diseases, and for years she believed her worsening memory and confusion were signs of Alzheimer's. But it wasn't her mind slipping, it was the drugs Dominique had been slipping into her food and drink. When the truth was finally revealed in November 2020, Gisele's world collapsed. She left her home with only 2 suitcases, all that remained of her life with Dominique. And now, 51 men, including Dominique, are standing trial in one of France's most shocking cases of aggravated rape.
After discovering the video footage on his computer, police counted a total of 92 rapes committed by 72 men. 50 of whom were identified and are now on trial alongside the main defendant.
Dominique's response has been unapologetic, complaining the case against him had destroyed his life. While being evaluated by a psychologist, he said that if the police hadn't interfered, Gisele would not have known anything and we would have continued to be happy. In court, Gisele has spoken with unwavering strength. She also chose not to remain anonymous, determined to put the shame back on the perpetrators rather than the victim. And despite what she is going through, Gisele is determined that her story will not be forgotten and that no other woman will have to endure the nightmare that she is living through. As I'm making this video, the trial of Dominique and the 51 other men continues. Alright, that's it for today's story. Feel free to comment on this case below and remember to subscribe for more true stories of humans in abnormal predicaments. Until the next one, stay safe out there, and as always, stay bent. Are you ready to hear a story?